Ladies and gentlemen, our first guest speaker ni lawyer wa maloya. Elo alibe mantha ni waka controversy, very sharp parliamentarian. Somebody who has saved the patriotic front and this country very diligently. He is the one, when I was at University of Zambia as president, who was the elections campaign manager, elections committee chairperson for the University of Zambia, and declared me president. He also declared President Edgar Chagwa as president. So akakuchita declare shakuzoza we muntu. Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Tutwa Ngulube.
Honorable Tutwa Ngulube was a prophet. There are some things that is stated in this meeting which are now making sense. It is sad that Tutwa Ngulube died, but his legacy remains. He was a bubbly character, one who stood for what is right, being a lawyer and a patriotic Zambian. Listen to this.
One Zambia, one Kawa Central. Oh, tuwala batuli kurusa. Mulishani bonse mkwai. Mkwai, I want to speak in two languages, Naralanda Mchibemba Naranda na Mchisungu. As rightly introduced by my brother, I am incoming member of parliament for Kawe Central constituency. I was member of parliament from 2016 up to 2021, and the president honored me with the responsibility of being deputy chief whip at parliament. One of my responsibilities was to ensure that we sensitize the members of parliament on parliamentary business, and also to just sensitize the people of Zambia regarding any changes that are going to be made to the laws. And one of the things I was actually interested in seeing myself was that we must ensure that Zambia gets a very good constitution. In 2016, the president of Zambia, Dr. Edgar Chagwa, signed the constitution into law, and it brought a lot of changes, and some of the laws had to change because we had to realign everything in line with the law. Surprisingly, one opposition political party that only rejoices in killing people and shedding blood was opposed. And today as we speak, we are just from talking about the last parliamentary session where members of parliament themselves wanted to have constituencies that are manageable. Members of parliament were complaining that we cannot have a parliament of 158, yet we only have a few female members of parliament, where we have a very few, a very small number of youths. And one of the laws that was going to bring those changes was the constitution amendment. Vanamayo apatulelanda, you are in the majority. Mweba vote abengi muno mchalo ni vanamayo. Lelo ba Upnd, elo ba chitile boycott ama parliamentary sittings, and they made sure that bill number 10 was not supported. They are crying. The same people who shot bill number 10, which wanted to increase the number of women in parliament, are now crying that they want more women in parliament. The same people who shot down bill number 10 and those who actually opposed government laws, today valerira yo echechi na bamu blocking oku, yo na kumbala bachitashani, yo kuna konde. We told the Upnd, can we change the Public Order Act so that we level the playing field? They were refusing. Lelo kutibalira tiyo, the police are not being fair when they are the ones who stopped the police from actually doing a good job. Shemuna oye! Shemuna oye! We want to remind them that in the same way you refused to get more women and youths in parliament, and in the same way they refused to get the Public Order Act cleaned up, they are now paying for their sins. They are now paying for their sins. When I was government deputy chief whip in parliament, one of the responsibilities I had was to negotiate between political parties, by independent, by PF, by Upnd, Nawashala, and see, Muma committees emotwikala, how do we give the people of Zambia a good constitution? How do we give the people of Zambia a good law? How do we keep the MMD and other political parties sided with the government? Because they know that to govern a government or to govern the people, you don't just have to get one person into State House. Today, as I'm speaking, Zambia is far much better than the PF found it. And that is why we are getting all the support that we are getting. Today, if you go to Lusaka, if you come to Lusaka, if you go to the Copper Belt, if you go to Eastern Province, if you go to Southern Province, Northwestern Province, you cannot fail to see major roads that have been done by the Patriotic Front. You cannot fail to appreciate the massive development that the PF government is doing. As a lawyer, as a young lawyer in my formative years, I had the responsibility of representing people, pensioners, who have not been paid for decades. From the time UNIP came out of power in 1991, we've had pensioners who have been waiting to be paid. The government of His Excellency Edgar Chagwalungu has made sure almost all the pensioners, 97% of the pensioners have been paid. I am coming from Kabwe, a small town which was known for its railway business. Zambia Railways was disturbed when it was given to Railway Systems of Zambia. All those people who were retrenched in Zambia Railways and Railway Systems of Zambia, today as I'm speaking to you, every pensioner has been paid because of His Excellency Edgar Chagwalungu. The people of Kabwe Central and Iwacha and Central Province in general have no reason for changing government, because we have seen that from the time the PF government came into power, the PF have actually employed more soldiers, they've employed more of our children as police officers, more of our children as ZAF officers. Today as I'm speaking, I'm receiving messages from everywhere. No, my child has now graduated, passed out at ZAF. Oh, my child. The people of Kabwe were not remembered. It is only under His Excellency Edgar Chagwalungu and probably under our leadership that the people of Kabwe are now able to get recruited as soldiers, police officers, ZAF, teachers, and everything. And the unemployment levels are going down. And for that, we promise that Kabwe Central and Iwacha, Kabwe District, we are going to give the president 100% vote. Somebody has been crying that he wants to become president of Zambia for many, many years. And the reason why he wants to become president of Zambia is because he belongs to a particular tribe. Me, I am actually a member of parliament in Kabwe, where I don't even come from. The people there elect me not because I come from Eastern Province or wherever, but because the people of Zambia do not need to elect people based on tribe. You can imagine what will happen to you if we discover that your father comes from another province and your mother from another province. It means you will never be member of parliament. It means you will never be member of parliament. So we want to urge the people of Zambia to reject the tribalism that we have seen. I know myself for a fact that Southern Province used to have members of parliament that come from Northern Province. Southern Province used to have members of parliament that come from Eastern Province. Southern Province used to have councillors that come from everywhere. But today, because of one man and his thirst for power, he has actually introduced tribalism such that 99.999% of the people standing as candidates that side are supposed to come from there. And when people talk about tribalism, they say we hate them. We don't hate them, we hate one person. We hate one person. And the reason why we hate one person is because apart from stealing from the people of Zambia, and apart from failing to account for the money from privatization, he denies, he says he did not participate in privatization. And we want to ask him, how did you get rich when the people of Zambia continued getting poorer? When the pensioners were not paid, you became a rich man. So can you connect the two? Connect the two for us. The pensioners are dying without money, you become a rich man. Akawawawa. Kawalala nipakubo kwaini. Kabolala nipakuboko. Let him tell us how he became rich while the rest of the people got very poor and some of them even died. And I want to speak for myself that my father worked for Zambia National Holdings, a company that was owned by UNIP. And when the government privatized those companies, there is one Zambian politician who was in charge of the privatization exercise. My father died without receiving a coin. And we want to tell him that I'm here where I am because the people of Zambia supported government policies. We want him to tell us why he has failed to build a house for his parents, why he has failed to build a house for his mother-in-law, if his money is genuine. So we want to tell him that the people of Zambia are aware that you have been hacking people and shedding their blood because you are not a Christian. Today you can't claim to say you are a Christian, yet you want to fight Zambia as a Christian nation. When we were debating Bill number 10, and one of the clauses that came into play was Zambia being a Christian nation. And he told his members of parliament, you can do anything, whatever you want to do, but on Zambia as a Christian nation, I am not going to accept. And the members of parliament told us as we were negotiating to say our president does not want Zambia to be a Christian nation because it will compromise him. It's going to make sure that the people funding him are not giving them money. You know, his political party is connected to gay rights. It's connected to all sorts of satanic, tithes and whatever they've signed. We want to tell the people of Zambia, we are Christians. And the people of Kabwe, we will show you the door. We are sending him into retirement next week. We are sending him into retirement next week. I also know that here in Lusaka, all this massive infrastructure, all these beautiful roads, all these bridges, all this load shedding that has come to an end, all these things that the people of Zambia were complaining about have now been dealt with. So the people of Lusaka have no reason for changing a president. They have no reason for changing government. The people of Central Province have no reason for changing government because when there was load shedding, we dealt with load shedding. When there was a drought, the majority of the droughts that we saw in Zambia in the history of this country, the government has actually invested heavily, and now as we are speaking, there is no more load shedding. So why change a government when all the problems that the people are using for changing government have been dealt with? Akawawawa. Akawawawa. We will repeat that come next week, the people of Zambia must stand up in their huge numbers. They must queue up as early as 04 and must defend their rights. We have heard they are threatening people that they are going to follow them. They're threatening farmers that anyone who's going to vote PF, they'll be attacked. Our soldiers are on duty. We want to assure them, and we want to tell all the cadres, even those that belong to the Patriotic Front, that the moment you carry a gun, you are no longer a civilian, you are not a cadre. The moment you wear a military uniform and carry pangas, you are not a cadre. You are not even supposed to be dealt with by the police. You need soldiers. And I can say I'm happy that I've been looking at vehicles passing around Lusaka. I've seen a lot of soldiers patrolling, and it means that the people of Zambia are safe because the commander-in-chief has taken charge of the situation. We know that when there was cholera, the president made sure that our soldiers came on board and the soldiers were used and we dealt with the issue of cholera. Why didn't they complain that time that the president is using soldiers? When we had gassers, when the Upnd were gassing the people of Zambia, the president sent us soldiers and the gassers ran away. When the Upnd were burning markets and cutting down Zesco pylons, the president sent soldiers and the cutting of Zesco pylons came to an end. Even now, they are busy hacking people and killing people in Kanyama, they are killing people in Kaoma, they are killing people wherever HH is passing, they are killing people there. You can imagine you are sitting in your house, simply because you belong to the PF, they break your car, they damage your gate. Is that the Zambia we want? No. Is that the Zambia we want? No. Let him explain to the people of Zambia, why is it that everywhere he is passing, people must die? Last year, his member of parliament from Sesheke was arrested and jailed. You can imagine if the whole lot of a member of parliament can be involved in grabbing a gun from a police officer. What kind of government can we form if we voted the UPND? Shemuna oye! Shemuna oye! Vakose. Vakose. Vakose sana, because the people of Zambia have learned his tricks. And this time around, in Amajini Tayakabe non, we are going to wallop them. And when we wallop them, we are going to tell them to say, why have people left him? If he was a good leader, when Akambwiri bali wera, GBM bali wera, bonse bali wera, kusherefe bamayo wanamtale na rumango na wena because bali balaya running mate. But na wena any time ngabarusa bale bafumiyako. So we are encouraging every Zambian to say right now, the best way to go is to maintain the PF in power. I know that bakapokola kumwandi kulia yesterday kukabwe central bale ntote. Okupitafya murodi bale tote ati honorable Mwaliwomba. Ayamayanda wa government batukulila. Tuwalela la mukarumu kamo, nawa na mukarumu kamo, kitchen na toilet panse. But now tuwikalama upstairs houses. And then you tell them to change government. The people of Kabwe will not change government this year. Because right now, as we are speaking, everything is happening. Mukulekelesha mkwai. Allow me to say, I am challenging the Amnesty International to come out in the open and tell the people of Zambia why they are quiet when PF members are being killed by the UPND. Why is the Amnesty International Z? Why are they not speaking? They are telling the people of Zambia that government has been attacking UPND members, or the PF is attacking. How come all the people that are being killed by UPND and the Amnesty International is quiet? Yeah. And also, I also want to finally talk about one thing. Our diplomats belonging to other countries that have come to work in Zambia and are busy trying to initiate government change, we want to tell them that as a diplomat, if you get involved in partisan politics, our law is very clear. I'm a lawyer and I'm speaking the truth. You can be chucked out of this country. You can be declared a persona non grata and you can be sent home. Because me, I am Zambian. I can't go to another country and start telling the people there to change government. If you are a diplomat, remain a diplomat. If you are a Zambian, join politics and become a politician like me. I thank you all. Akawawawa!